Have you ever had one of those conversations, you walk away and something just feels heavy? There was no fight, nothing obviously wrong, but you can't shake this feeling. Well, today we're going to talk about that quiet weight we sometimes pick up from other people, and more importantly, how we can finally learn to set it down. It's such a familiar feeling, right? You've just wrapped up a chat with a friend, a family member, a coworker, and on the surface, it was totally fine. No big arguments, no drama, but something is just off. Your brain kind of kicks into overdrive, replaying little moments, trying to figure out what you missed. And that's when the heaviness starts to settle in. You find yourself stuck in this loop, analyzing their tone of voice, the little pauses between their words, just trying to figure out what they really meant. And without even realizing it, you didn't just hear their words. You kind of absorbed their entire emotional state. Okay, so let's actually put a name to this thing. What is this weight that we're talking about? And where on earth does it come from? Think of it like this. It's like you've put on a backpack you never even knew was there. And when you look inside, you realize you're carrying their frustration, their disappointment, even the heaviness of their silence or that unspoken tension that was hanging in the air. You've just unconsciously taken on their emotional baggage, and now you're hauling it around like it's yours. And here's the absolute key to understanding this, that drained, exhausted feeling you have. It isn't a sign that you're just too sensitive or that you care too much. No, it's a sign that you have been carrying things that were never ever yours to hold in the first place. So how does this even happen? Well, it usually starts with something really beautiful. Our own empathy, which, if we're not careful, can lead us right into a trap. So many of us learned somewhere along the line that being a good person, a kind person, meant that we had to be emotionally available all the time. We got really good at reading the room, at sensing every little shift in energy, and then almost automatically adjusting ourselves to keep everything and everyone calm. And this brings us to a really critical difference we have to make. See, empathy is all about connection. It's about being with someone and saying, I see you, I hear you, I care. But emotional responsibility, well, that's different. That's the little voice that says, if you're not okay, I have to fix it. And that is the exact moment you go from being a companion to becoming an emotional manager. Do any of these sound familiar? Maybe over-explaining your choices or over-apologizing for things that really aren't your fault? Or just being the one who's always constantly adjusting your own feelings to manage the mood of the room. Yep, these are the classic signs that you've slipped into that manager role. But here's the good news. There is a way to get out of this exhausting pattern. It's all about a powerful shift in perspective, from managing other people's emotions to simply witnessing them. And here it is. This is the big turning point. This is the permission you might have been waiting your whole life to hear. When someone else is uncomfortable or unhappy with you, it is not automatic proof that you did something wrong. Sometimes their discomfort is just the sound of you finally being true to yourself. So in that moment, instead of immediately rushing in to fix everything, you can just pause and ask yourself this one simple, incredibly powerful question. Is this mine to carry? That question, it creates space. It brings you right back to yourself and reminds you that you have a choice. This is the alternative we're talking about, witnessing. It means you can still be present, you can still be caring, but you don't lose yourself inside someone else's experience. You can see what they're going through and you can honor it, without needing to jump in and drown alongside them. Now, let's be real. Making this kind of change isn't always a walk in the park. Breaking a habit you've had your whole life, that comes with some challenges. So let's talk about the discomfort that shows up with this kind of growth. When you first start trying this, honestly, it's going to feel weird. It might even feel wrong. You will feel that old, familiar, powerful pull to jump back in and fix it, to smooth everything over and make sure everyone else is comfortable again. But you have to remember this. That feeling of discomfort, that's not a warning sign. It's not danger. It is the feeling of growth. It's the friction that happens when you start choosing your own authenticity over someone else's approval. So what happens when you actually stick with it? When you learn to sit with that discomfort and keep practicing letting go? Well, that's when you start the journey of coming home to yourself. This whole path to release is really about subtraction. It's about letting things go. You slowly stop feeling the need to over-explain yourself. You release that job you gave yourself of having to fix the energy in every room you walk into. And, most importantly, You stop abandoning your own truth just to keep a false sense of peace. You start choosing you. And the result of all this letting go, it's huge. You start to feel clearer, more grounded in who you actually are. You can finally start to hear your own inner voice again, and you begin to trust it. It's simple, really. You just feel more like yourself. And that's really what this is all about. You don't have to become cold or build walls to protect yourself. You can love deeply, you can be incredibly present, you can show all the compassion in the world, all without carrying that weight. You can care without caring. And in that little space right there, that's where you find your freedom.